Welcome to session 4 of using Office 365 groups for CIS 3900 project collaboration. This session is going to go through creating the group email or using the group email mailbox. Session 1 introduced Office 365 groups and their ability to help with team collaboration around projects like CIS 3900's final project. Session 2 went through how to create one of those groups and what gets created along with the group to help you work together as a team. And then session 3 talked about managing the members of that group so that you can add and remove project team members and your professor and other folks like that. So this is session 4. And primarily, these are the things we're going to go through. So one, when an Office 365 group is created, a shared mailbox for the group is also created. So we talked about that a couple of times in the previous session, but we're going to go into it in more detail in this session. Members, and also other people, if you allow, can send email to that group inbox. And it's just like your personal inbox in that it just holds the mail there. It can be read, viewed, searched, and all that sort of thing. Also, we briefly mentioned this in the previous session, but we're going to go into it in more detail. That shared mailbox can be subscribed to by members of the group, so your project team members. And when they subscribe to that group mailbox, any email sent to that mailbox is also sent to the students, to the members' mailbox as well. So I said student email boxes here, but if it's a professor, then it goes to the professor's mailbox. And the point being is that, a lot of times people will have their NSU mailbox connected to their mobile phone, right? And you'll get your email alerts and that sort of thing. And, you might want to know when an email is sent to the team. So an easy way to do that and to be able to get to it on your phone within your standard email application and all that sort of thing is just subscribe to that mailbox. And then the mail will not only go to the group mailbox, but it'll go to your personal mailbox as a member of the group as well. So in this session, our goal is to learn how to use the Office 365 group mailbox for project team communication. So again, just covering off on what is an Office 365 group mailbox. It's a dedicated email box for the group. In other words, it gets created when the group is created. If you delete the group, it'll delete the mailbox. There's some administrative things you can do to hold on to that, but that's for the Office 365 administrator and NSU's IT department. For all intents and purposes, for us users of these groups, when you delete the group, you delete the mailbox. As I mentioned before, that mailbox is subscription enabled such that emails sent to the group mailbox are also sent to the member. Here's a couple of bullet points on how to use the mailbox. So one, there's a group conversations interface that you can use, and two, you can just use your own personal mailbox. So the group, as I mentioned in session 2 about creating the group gets its own email address, and so you can just send an email to that email address from your student email, and it will go into the group mailbox. So as I've been doing in some other sessions, I included a link here to much more detailed information about the group mailbox and how to do different things that may or may not be relevant to our discussion here about how to use these tools for project team collaboration and communication for the CIS 3900 project. But you may want to use you may want to know more or use additional features or whatever, and that's these links provide that. So I'm going to demo both of these options here. So the first thing I'm going to do then is show the Office 365 web portal. And here I'm on the member screen for the CIS 3900 Group 4, which is the group I created for my project team for the CIS 3900 final project. So the mailbox is referred to as conversations because when you go into the mailbox, you can see here that the email that is sent to the mailbox is grouped by conversation. So here, for example, is a list of conversations that my group had for a final project. So you can see that there's lots of conversations we had. They're all grouped up together. So if I go into one of these conversations, this is a conversation about me setting up a teleconference for us. So Anthony said, hey, here's some information. I replied, he wanted to know, can we have a group? So I replied, can we, can folks have a call on Monday? And Anthony says we can do it Monday after 3. So, you can see here. And so a couple of things about this. So one, Anthony sent this email from his initial email from his student inbox to the group. So he basically sent it to CIS 3900 Group 4. Because Anthony and Francis got it in their personal mailbox and then replied all to that, it replied to the group mailbox and Anthony and Francis. Well, when the email gets to the Office 365 service, it's smart enough to only send Francis and Anthony one copy of this email. They don't get 2 copies, one from the group and one from being subscribed to the group and one to their personal inboxes. Again, Office 365 figures that out and they just get one email. So as I look through this and go through the entire thread, you can see that Anthony actually used the Outlook Groups interface to send this. I used my iPhone to reply. And somewhere in here, I think somebody had an Android phone on our team. So basically, we're just using this conversation via standard email tools, and through the power of the group, the conversation gets collected and threaded and put here, so that if I wanted to come back and find something, for example, if I wanted to say, I want to find email that where we talked about use cases, then what I can search, and it will give me all the threads that were related to use cases. So that's pretty powerful to be able to go back and find that information. And you can delete the emails out of your personal inbox and they'll still be here in the group mailbox. So that's pretty important, for going back and searching over information. So if I wanted to send a new mail to the team from here, I just click new conversation. If I want to start a completely new conversation, if I wanted to, just respond to a thread, then I click reply all, and I can do that here. For the demo, I'm just going to create a new conversation. I'm just going to call it, testing the group mailbox. And you can see that just like normal mail, I can attach a file, I can add a picture, I can put in some emojis, I can change my font, and I can send a group broadcast that basically kind of alerts the group. So, this ability to do it from this interface makes it pretty powerful, because you can use this just like a forum. So I'm sure most of you have used forums for one point or another. So this mailbox acts as sort of a forum to go through and have this threaded conversation. So I'm not going to send this. I don't want to bother the members of my team here, but if I hit post, then essentially what happens is a new conversation thread gets started, and if any of the team members are subscribed to this mailbox, which I know all the team members are except for Dr. Perez Mira, then they'll get the mail to their personal inbox as well and can reply to it and all of that. So that's using the Office 365 interface. As I mentioned, though, you can use any mail client to email the group. So I use Windows 10 on my PC. I use the Windows 10 mail application to connect to my NSU mailbox. It works pretty well. And so all I have to do if I want to send an email to the group is I come in here and it's going to be from, my NSU. I also have a couple of other mailboxes in here, but that's kind of irrelevant. And I just put in the name of the group and the subject of, let's just call it testing. And then this is a test. And then what's going to happen is that email is going to go into the conversations window here, right? So in just a moment, you'll see the new activity. I click on it, and there's the email I sent to the group. Because I am subscribed to the group, right? So it says unsubscribe. So because I am subscribed to that group, it also sent me the message to my inbox, right? So I have a copy in my inbox, and I can delete the copy out of my inbox. And if I go back to my mail client, which is right here, I've deleted it out of my inbox. So I'm going to go back to the portal right here, and you'll see that even though, I've not, I deleted it out of my mail client, it's still here in the group's mailbox because it is a completely separate mailbox. You'll also see that, these are unseen conversations and seen conversations. And this will update over time, right? So the next time I refresh or go in and out of this thing, that'll go into the seen conversations because now I've actually clicked on it and seen it and that sort of thing. So we talked about, using the group's conversation interface, kind of like forums in the web portal. And we also just use your own mailbox. So you can, just like I sent the email from the Windows 10 email client, you can send it from the iPhone mail client or the Android mail client or whatever your favorite email client is, you can continue. And that's one of the powerful things about Office 365 groups is the interfaces that you can use to collaborate are pretty standard type interfaces. So these are just some use cases of that my team for the CIS 3900 project used. It's just some examples to get you thinking about how to use these conversations. So one, we had a number of threaded conversations about specific tasks or issues with the project. We often we would have a meeting or have some things planned, and someone would have a work schedule change or something like that, and wanted to quickly let the group know, hey, I'm going to be late for the meeting, I'm not going to make the group meeting, or hey, I'm going to work on the assignment that I have, but I'm going to start on that much later than I thought, and I won't be online until later. So quickly sending a status, asking a question about the entire group. So we did this a ton. So, we sort of each would pick out tasks that we were going to work on for the final project. And often we'd have a question about, how the team wanted to do something, or maybe needed some additional help understanding the requirement or something like that. So asking a question. And then I showed searching through previous conversations, for that nugget of information you need to complete a part of the project. So those are all things that we used the group mailbox that's a part of the Office 365 groups for in our collaborative work on the CIS 3900 project. So going back to our goal for the session, we were supposed to learn how to use an Office 365 group mailbox or project team communication. And I think you will agree that through the demos and examples and use cases that my own group used, you can see how that is done and how it can be a big help with the final project. So that's all for this session, and the next session, which will be session 5, we'll continue to tackle the different components of Office 365 groups and how to use them to help with your project.